Good afternoon, everyone. I'm very excited to be here today with the GOAT himself, Mr. Troy Taylor. We have a 3-time Grammy-Award winner, multi-award winner in the building with us. We're very excited to have you today.
I am happy to be here. Thank you.
All right, so we're just going to jump right into it. So over the years, you've acquired so many accomplishments and accolades. Can you tell me about some of those and when you first began getting into music? Like, did you see yourself being where you are today?
No, definitely did not. Beginning of high school, seeing my brother in high school, my brother's 5 years older than me, so watching him doing talent shows, and actually it was the class night. I went to that and I just saw people screaming at people on stage singing and stuff, and I was like, oh, I want that. So when I went into high school, just before high school, I decided I wanted to learn how to play the piano, and didn't know that what I was doing. I just wanted to do it, and then it kind of hit me. But my dad, my dad played piano. He was a musician. I never met him because he died before I was born. And then my grandfather on my mom's side, he was a musician in church. So it's in me. At first, I was an artist. I started off as an artist singing in talent shows, singing in groups. And then as time went on, 1920, moved to New York, and then to pursue music at full time. So, the fact that I started off as an artist, I didn't see myself not being an artist until I worked with these kids.
Which kids?
These kids, they were like 15, 16, and 2. So one 15, one 16, and 2 17-year-olds. And I was, at this point, like 22. And after working with these kids, I was signed to Motown as well. And so after working with these kids, they came out a year later. When they came out and blew up, that's when I decided I don't want to be an artist. I want to be a producer, writer. These kids ended up being Boys to Men.
Okay, and so a couple of your songs were on their debut album.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see them having the success and the impact that they had on the musical community?
No, I did not see that coming, and that's the thing. By the time I worked with them and then they came out, and then a year later for them to be known all over the world, I had no idea that was going to happen, because before they became, the Motown Philly with the Alex Vanderpool, that was what their style was called. They were just normal, so I didn't see how they were going to end up looking and all of that. So no, I didn't know.
And so now, as you've progressed through the years, how can you spot out when you see a star, when you come across one?
Oh, but I gotta mention this. I am working currently with Wanye, who's in Boys and Men. I'm working with his sons.
Oh, really?
They're called Wanmore.
Okay.
Them kids is they are Wanye times 4, because each one of them are dope. You know what I mean? But they're so incredible. So 30 years later, working with his sons is amazing. When I work with people, it's what they give me, was what they show me that lets me know. Like, for example, Trey Songz, who is my artist. When I met him, he was 15. He came to sing for me because he was a rapper first. He was, rapping. And he wanted to sing. So when he sang to me, it wasn't anything incredible about his voice, but there was something in his tone. And then he had this thing in his eyes, like this flicker thing in his eyes. Not everybody has that. So I knew then what he could be if he worked hard and if he stays on it. So I guess I can just see it and feel it in people.
Okay. So you've worked with a lot of big names. You just mentioned Trey Songz, but you've also worked with the Isley Brothers, Whitney Houston, of course, Boyz II Men, Queen Naja, Tink, which is one of my faves, Brandy.
Mm-hmm.
When you're working with these people, what is the creative process like working with the biggest names in R&B today and of the past?
So I really just go off of them. Like I've worked with Aretha Franklin, the absolute biggest.
Right.
And so working with her allowed me to see why she is the biggest. Because her work ethic is crazy. She knew the songs before I even got there. She knew what she wanted to do. She didn't have to look at the lyric sheet. Like she just hands down just like sang like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 tracks straight down, and then walked out. Like walked out the booth. Like see what you can do with that. You know what I mean? Like kids don't do that. They can't even go past 3 lines without forgetting. You know what I mean? So with Whitney was so hood. I mean, I can say it now because she already showed how hood she was on her, on the reality shows or whatever. But she was so cool, she was so fun. But I pushed Whitney because I knew how dope she was. So it's like I'm not taking anything less than what I know them for. So for me to work with Ron Isley and all of them, it's like I know what they're capable of. If I don't hear it, I have to push until I hear it. And so I'm not afraid to do that.
And so when you're working with some of the newer artists, how do you push them to their best? Because you haven't seen that yet.
Right. So a lot of them don't know what they have in them. My job is to push until I hear it. And a lot of times it shocks themselves. They find out, oh, wow, I didn't know I could do that. They get mad at me. I don't care. But that's the thing. You work with Aretha Franklin, I ain't got to tell her nothing. She knows what to do. And then I work with these kids, I got to beg you to sing? Like, what the heck? Why do I got to beg you to sound good? You know what I mean? But it's not until they hear it and they love it, and 2 weeks later, they're like, oh my God, I didn't know I can do this. And then I'm not impressed. Now I'm like, get out of my face. Like, shut up. So it's just a thing where I'm going to push you regardless. Either I'm going to find out that you don't have it, you're going to find out you don't have it, or we're going to find something new that you didn't know.
And so have you ever been starstruck by any of the people that you worked with?
No starstruck. Let me see. I guess, Aretha Franklin, Whitney, Ron Isley. First of all, Ron Isley and Aretha, I never even dreamed of working with them. Right. They're them. So it's like I grew up listening to them. So it's not like I was like, oh, I want to work with them. Because in my mind, you're not working with them. They're them. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? So, but I will say Aretha, but then it went away because I did it. I recorded with her in her home, like in her living room. So it was like she made everything so chill, so cool. She was like auntie. So it kind of went away. But one thing about me that people don't know is that I am super nervous before every session I do. And it's to the point where if I'm not nervous, then I worry. Because it's the nervousness that makes me deliver. It pushes me. So I'm naturally nervous. That's to this day. Everything before I do it, like even doing this interview, I get nervous and I'm like, dang, I hope I sound stupid. I hope I don't sound crazy.
I'm nervous. I'm interviewing the GOAT.
So, but I'm just telling you, like, you're nervous. I'm nervous too, but nobody would know it because they're like, oh, you do this all the time. And they're like, no, it doesn't matter. I need that nervousness to put me on. You know what I mean? So I think when I get with the artists that are stars, the icons, I think that it allows me to make sure I'm sharp.
Okay, and so one of the questions that I have for you, what are some things that you've learned about the music industry since you've been in it?
That it sucks. It's whack. It's not good. It's terrible.
Why do you say that though?
It's, let me see what else. Let's see, it's whack, it's terrible, it's not good, it's evil, it's horrible. It's really bad.
Why?
And I say all those things first to say it is not what you think it is. But if you still want to do it, then okay. But you need to know it is not what we think it is once, because you have all these hopes and dreams of it being and seeing it from the outside looking in. The best way I can describe it is you looking outside and you're looking in the room, and in the room you can't hear everybody, but you're seeing everybody laughing and it seems like they're having a good time, right? And they're laughing, but they're really cursing each other out. They're really talking bad about each other. And you can't hear anything, so you're just sitting there like, oh my gosh, it must be fun in there. Right. But you don't hear what they're saying. So that's the best way I can explain the music industry. It's not cool because it's not about the music like you would think. And that's the thing that makes it bad, because it's about everything else but the music.
Okay, so being somebody who's worked in R&B, what can you say that you would hope to see from the newer generation of artists, since you kind of talked about it not being as great as it should?
What I strive for every day, even on my posts like at Troy Taylor TTU, follow me. What I strive for still is this new generation trying to make sure that they understand that this is serious. Just because it's like something you love to do and for some people it's easy, I don't like people to come into the music business thinking that it's a hobby or for fun or for clout, because it's so much hard work you need to put into it. So I'm always trying to make sure they understand that, yo, this is serious. Like, you want people to buy and stream your music. What you put into it is what you're gonna get out of it. So if you come in slouching, you're gonna get slouch feedback. You know what I mean? So that's the thing I really want the new generation to understand.
And so, okay, so I told you earlier, I'm 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
What are some pieces of advice that you have somebody that's around my age to be in a position that you are today?
Okay, so I would say, and it's basically the same thing when I was your age, when I was 21. It's take it like everything depends on it. Like, don't, like, just push yourself. Don't make people have to push you, because no one should want it more than you. Just make sure you approach everything that you do coming into this game seriously. Because face it, if you wanted to be an NBA, or in your case a WNBA, you couldn't just come in there dribbling the ball any kind of way. They'll look at the way you dribble and be like, They'll look at the way you walk on the court. Nah. They'll look at the way you shoot the ball. Nah. Just those little things will show them, no, you need to go back. You need to practice. You know what I mean? So singing is the same way. People come in there and sing, and when they sing, they don't have no posture, no enjoyment about it. And it's just like, when I see someone come in the studio like that, it's like, all right, I'm about to kill you, because I'm more serious than you are. And when I show you and try to push you, you find yourself saying, it doesn't take all of that, and what was wrong with that? And it's like, why do I have to try to get you to sound good? You should want to in yourself. You know what I mean? So that's what I would say to your generation, which I work with your generation all the time. Take it seriously.
All right, and then my last question that goes back to talking about those nerves that we have. What are some advice for other people when it comes to alleviating nerves, when it comes to doing different shows, comes to doing interviews, comes to meeting new people who are in the industry? What can you say about that?
So nerves, like I said earlier, I turn my nervousness into something that pushes me, not something that pulls me back. When you're nervous, challenge yourself to overcome it by making sure that you don't mess up. Because nervous triggers into the mind of, you're going to mess up. You're going to be whack. You're not going to do good. So you're nervous technically about that. You know what I mean? You're not even thinking about you're going to do good. You're like, I'm nervous because I'm going to mess up. So I say, turn that into, I'm nervous, but I'm going to do good. I'm going to kill it. I'm nervous, but I'm going to kill. You know what I mean? Like, that's the only way I could say, because you're going to be nervous. If you're not nervous, you might slip up and be too cocky. And then you'll come off too confident. And then people ain't going to like it.
Okay, well, that's all the questions that I really have for you today. Thank you for coming to sit down.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for coming to our event tonight. We're excited to have you here.
Thank you.